This is just making my mouth water. Isn't that awesome? I love it. Hey everybody, I'm Vera Stewart and welcome to the Very Vera Show. You know, I always have some really great guests on the show, but I have got a fantastic guest today. Carrie Morey is joining me from Charleston, South Carolina. She's the owner of Callie's Charleston Biscuits and Callie's Hot Little Biscuits. She has 3 locations. I'm sure many of you have been to them before, and we're going to be having quite a lot of fun today. She's going to do recipes from her cookbook that is just beautiful, and she's going to teach us a little bit along the way. So we're going to start with shortcakes that are extremely versatile. She's going to show us the process on how to make those, and then we're going to make a patty cake, which is one of the #1 items on her menu at our restaurant. Then we're going to take that same recipe and she's going to show us how to make a delicious trifle that's a fantastic dessert that you'll share with family and friends. So let's get started and meet Carrie now. Carrie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, it's just always such a treat, and you know, she has just got so much going on, and we're just really, really happy to have you. For those folks in Augusta, Georgia, that got to experience you as the chef last night for our chef-inspired dinner, it was absolutely amazing.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you.
The books were flying off the shelf. It was great.
Thank you.
So, you know, let's talk a little bit about your business and how you got started with your business.
Well, you know, it's Callie's Biscuits, and that's my mom, Callie, and she has always made the most incredible biscuits, specifically the ham biscuit, and I just felt like 14 years ago it was too good not to share. So I started an online mail order biscuit business that evolved into selling in stores, and now we have 3 hot little biscuit bake shops, 2 in Charleston and 1 in Atlanta.
And they're all doing so well. Well, you know, for me, I think one of the things that we connect on is that you've done this business over the last 14 years while you're being a wife and you're raising 3 daughters and you're being the, you know, the room mother and running the soccer practice. You know, tell me a little bit about how you're weaving the whole idea of female entrepreneurship and managing, juggling all of that.
I think that it's really important to give the message to my daughters and to women out there that you can do it all, and you know, you can be a great wife, a mom, an entrepreneur, work, whatever it is that you are passionate about. So I think that it's important to let my girls know that it's not perfect, but try your best to balance it all, and if that's what you want, go for your dreams, and you know, the sky's the limit.
Well, if you want to know more about her family life, you've got to get involved with her Instagram story on Sunday night. I mean, it's like we know what you're having for dinner every Sunday night. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, it is a goal of mine to always cook for my girls at least 5 nights a week, but on Sunday we have a lot of time. So we bake, we make homemade pasta, and we always have a theme. So, you know, we have a lot of fun, and it's comical, not perfect, but you can certainly get a little glimpse into our lives.
And it's awesome. Well, you know, since you were on the show last, now we're in more locations. So tell the audience where your locations are, where they can come in and eat.
Well, we have 2 hot little biscuit bake shops in Charleston, 1 in the market and 1 on King Street, and then we also have 1 in Atlanta. And yeah, and we're looking at more locations, so we'll see what happens.
Well, if they can't get to one of those, where can they buy your biscuits?
Well, you can always go online to calliesbiscuits.com, but you can get them at all fresh markets across the country, and we are just really grateful to the Fresh Market for being such a great partner to us.
Well, I remember seeing them in there years ago before I ever met you and buying them. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in your business. What's new with your products and that sort of thing?
Well, we have come out with some new 6-packs. Traditionally, we've only sold by the dozen, but now we're trying to create a little bit of a solution for your weeknight meals. So we've been doing biscuits by the 6, blueberry ice biscuits.
Y'all, they are so good.
Oh, thank you. That came out of a hot little biscuit special on Sundays. And then we're also doing a sharp cheddar just for your weeknight bread meals.
All right, now talk about the cookbook. It has sold so much that she's had to go back to press. So tell us a little bit about the new cover.
Well, yeah, this is a new cover. We were so blessed to sell out of the first run and never thought that would happen, but I'm really excited about it. So this was my favorite photograph from all the cookbook photos, and I'm just really excited to have a second run and a new cover.
Oh, and there's
refreshed.
so many great things in there. And then quickly about Taste of the South.
This has to be like the most exciting thing ever. Confetti biscuits, my name on the cover.
It's awesome.
Pinch me, a definite pinch me moment.
Well, enough of all the chit chat. We've got to get in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're going to start preparing those shortcakes. So come back with us after the break.
Thanks.
Okay, now the fun begins. The magic of Carrie in the kitchen making shortcakes.
That's right.
All right, so give us a little 101.
Well, we're starting with some Southern self-rising flour. Super easy.
Okay.
I always recommend a really big bowl because then you have plenty of room. I use salted butter, which, is a no-no in the baking world, but I like to break the rules. And we do everything with our clean, unpainted fingernail hands. And you're just going to mix in this butter. So you want to incorporate it into all of the flour. And you kind of have to work fast. You want...
Now the butter was cold, but not hard.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be hard. You don't have to freeze it and grate it. I mean, if you want to make more work for yourself, you're welcome to do that. It'll work any which way. We've made it with soft butter. We've made it with hard butter. I don't necessarily subscribe to the belief that
Okay, so tell me the difference in this and a biscuit.
Well, this is double the butter, a shortcake.
Okay.
We also add sugar to this. So this is kind of our dessert or breakfast biscuit. I love it with coffee by itself. And we top it with turbinado sugar, so it gives it that perfect crunch that I'm always looking for in the biscuit world. So you're looking for Parmesan cheese, really tiny little bits so that it's all incorporated into the flour. And after we do this, we're going to add the sugar.
Okay.
So we're just going to, if you'll help me pour that sugar in and we're going to incorporate that. I think it's so important to do this by hand because, you don't overwork the dough.
And you do make mention in your marketing of your product that these are handmade. And
every
you've got
single one of them.
people that are part of your team that are hand making these biscuits every day.
We do. We have a small team of
about... Oh, look how pretty that is.
Isn't that pretty?
I mean, it's like big cornmeal.
Yeah. So while I finish this, would you add the vanilla into whole milk, which is our liquid? Biscuits are super simple. They only require a flour, a fat, and a liquid, as you well know. Don't pour in all of that liquid because depending on the weather, we might not use it all. So you kind of have to add a little bit at a time. And we're looking for wetty dough. That's what we call it. It's technical, very wetty.
Okay.
So you want it to be... Oh, yeah, you can keep going. You want the dough to be wet, and you're wondering how you're going to get it out of the bowl. Keep going.
Keep going.
Oh, and then some days you might need a little bit more, too. So you just never know. So you want to have more than you need so that...
I still got a little bit left.
Yeah, you can go ahead and pour it all in.
Okay.
So now you've got this sticky, wetty dough.
Yes, you do.
And... now we have to put some flour on our surface.
Okay. And
get it all turned out. I'm going to this is my little trick to get the flour off my hands.
As you do that.
So you can, once you get all the liquid in there, you can then add more flour because you've got that moisture locked in. So I'm used to working with really big batches, so this seems
like
so
a
little.
baking batch.
You want to take that for me?
Absolutely.
And would you sprinkle a good amount of flour? Because now that you've got all that liquid locked in, you can really go crazy with the dry flour, and it just helps move the dough. And then I need a little bit more of that.
A little bit more?
Yeah, like a lot more.
We're learning.
I know. So now you've got your dough, and I'm so bad. I never even use a rolling pin, but
you will.
Because you need them to be pretty, Get it perfect.
And this is a batch that's making how many?
Well, it'll probably make about 10.
Okay.
The shortcakes, you want to not have them be as high because that sugar content and that extra butter,
oh man,
they will rise a lot higher than a regular buttermilk biscuit. And you also don't.
She is being so conscientious right now because the first time you were on the show with me, I'm telling you, she was flipping those biscuits. It was like lightning. They were coming. You're just so good at it.
Well, yeah, I hope so. I've been doing it for 14 years. If I'm not, we got a problem.
Okay, so now does the Fresh Market sell the shortcake?
They don't, but you can always request them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think they need to.
I think so,
okay,
too.
so now one of the things that we're going to do with this is we're going to make the patty cake. Tell us what the patty cake is, because it's a menu favorite, right?
It is. It is our fabulous breakfast brunch special. It is a shortcake split in the middle with a perfect fried egg, some sausage, maple syrup drizzled over with powdered sugar.
Oh my gosh.
It's like salty, sweet deliciousness, and it's perfect.
Oh, well, I can't wait. Well, we're going to put that together at the end, and then in Vera's Corner today, we're going to go over the different types of flour and what flour to use for the different baked items. So we're going to keep working. Come back with us in just a few minutes. Baking is the art of turning flour into food. Today I'm going to show you the distinction between the different flours so you can make the right choice for your baked goods. All-purpose flour is the most commonly used flour in home baking. With a moderate protein content, it's the most versatile of flours, able to produce pie crust, bread, cookies, and more. Self-rising flour is flour that has had baking powder and salt added during milling. Self-rising flour is generally made from low-protein wheat, traditionally grown in the South. It's best for tender biscuits, muffins, pancakes, and some cakes. Cake flour is one of the softest varieties with a very low protein content. This makes cake flour ideal for tender baked goods, such as cakes, of course, but also biscuits, muffins, and scones. Bread flour is the strongest of all flours, providing the most structural support. The extra protein makes for better volume, a chewier crumb, and a browner crust. White Lily flour is not just a brand, but a specific variety of flour. It uses only soft winter wheat, which has an especially low protein content. This makes White Lily light and silky, which makes for lighter, fluffier biscuits. Next time you bake, you'll know exactly the flour to use. Welcome back, everybody. We're having so much fun.
We are.
I mean, the shortcakes are in the oven. They smell amazing. And if you're just joining us, this is Carrie Morey from Callie's Hot Little Biscuits, and she is just a fantastic biscuit baking babe, right?
Aw, thanks.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to do now?
Well, in the strange event that you might have a few leftover shortcakes
That
from
would be
the night
strange.
before, this is a great little tip, and it doesn't have to be with just shortcakes. I'm just crumbling these up, and we're going to make croutons, aka a shortcake trifle. If you're using a savory biscuit, you can make croutons for soups or salads.
Okay.
I love to do these top them on pasta, but today we're going to make a trifle out of this, which is just a fun little way to use this differently for a dessert. So,
well, and you know, this is how you create new recipes.
Yeah, you gotta
Is
get
you look
creative.
at leftovers and think about what else you could do. Okay,
So we're
we've
just putting
got
them on a
some-
sheet pan, then we're gonna melt the butter and pour this over, and then add some turbinado sugar,
Okay.
and then just kind of mix it up a little.
You love to get your
I
hands.
do, I like to do
dirty.
everything by hand. And then just mix in that sugar,
Ooh.
and then we'll pop it in the oven, and they get crispy and crunchy, and I'm all about the texture for this perfect little trifle.
Well,
that's
and the
so
biscuits
easy.
themselves are so light. Okay. All right.
Perfect. So we're just gonna shake it
Pop
out.
that in the oven.
And then pop this in the oven
Okay,
for just
great.
a few minutes until they get nice and crispy. All right,
Okay.
so while that's working, we're going to macerate our berries. You can use any berries. We're using blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries. And we're just gonna add a little sugar and let this sit, which will bring out all the juices and make for perfect
Look at
fruit.
those blackberries.
gorgeous.
I mean, this time of year too, this is a great dessert for, you know, all the spring occasions that are going to be coming up, and you know, strawberries will be in season. It's just perfect.
These all came from the fresh market?
Yes.
They look gorgeous. So we're gonna let that sit, and we have a little switch out that
Already
we did
done
a little earlier.
A little earlier.
So with the trifle, you can really do anything. We're gonna do individual and a big one. So if you
Okay.
wanna make a big presentation, you can do it in a big trifle dish, or if you wanna
These
serve
are
in, aren't they
perfect.
cute?
I know.
So you just layer. It could not be more simple. We're gonna start with whipped cream.
Ooh,
see.
I could just eat this whole bowl of
I
whipped
know.
cream. Okay,
Gotta
now
make sure it
this
looks
is one of the
pretty.
things I always love to talk when we get to this sort of thing. Is this is something you can get the children in the kitchen with you doing.
Definitely.
So I'll do whipped cream, you do berries.
I know.
How
I
about that?
already contaminated,
That's
but that's all right.
That's all right.
We'll just do a little.
So, and you know, I said that Carrie is from the Charleston area, and Porter Geld School in Charleston is going to have Vera cooking camp this summer.
Isn't that going to be fun?
I know it. I'm so excited about it.
I love that. I'm definitely sending my girls, all 3 of them.
Oh well, they'll be like the star students, right? Because they'll already know how to make everything.
Maybe they can help teach the class. Do you need any
they could be
assistance?
counselors.
They need an internship.
Okay, and then we're going to sprinkle. We went ahead and did some of the shortcakes earlier, the little croutons, and now this just goes on top. Mm-hmm. Oh, what a pretty dessert!
Isn't that pretty?
All right.
And it's just got everything. It's sweet, and then you've got that cream, and then the shortcakes bring that perfect crunch with the butter and the vanilla.
Finish that last one. All right, so this has to be made and served. Like this, you can't do and let it sit overnight. But I could do it in the morning, or could you let it sit overnight?
I always like my trifle in the big dish the next day because it just, everything gets incorporated. So my husband loves to eat this for breakfast after it's been served, the leftovers. Okay, well, these beautiful trifle bowls, this is what you would do if you were going to be doing it for, you know, a larger event. Mm-hmm. So we'll do the exact same process with this. And when we come back from the break, we're going to get ready preparing the little patty cake. I can't wait to do that. Oh, it's so good.
Oh man, it's so good. And then we'll just get everything assembled and ready to go. That's so pretty. Mm-hmm. So y'all come back with us in just a few minutes and we'll go over all of the presentation of these wonderful shortcake recipes. Welcome back, everybody, and I hope you have had as much fun as I have had today. Carrie, thank you so much for being my guest today. And you were busy during the break. I didn't even let you take a break. So tell us about building the trifle.
Well, you know, this just keeps getting better and better. The next day it's great and it's super easy. Your children can help you build this. And I even messed up and added a double layer of cream so nobody knows. And it comes out looking perfect and beautiful, and it's got all the great things that a dessert needs. It needs, you know, for me, it needs texture. It's got sweet, and it's got that soft cream. So you layer.
I love the croutons on the top.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it pretty?
It's beautiful. Well, I know we're going to enjoy that. And we just kind of want to walk back through this whole process with the shortcake.
Sure.
So for those that might have joined us a little later, tell us again how you went through the process of making the shortcakes.
Shortcakes is literally double the butter of a regular biscuit. So you just double the butter. We added some vanilla into our whole milk and some sugar. And so it's a sweet take on a biscuit, and everything's got to be done by hand. You got to use the perfect Southern flour, and you know, it's simple but really tasty.
Well, and the flour was just so, the texture of it once you had incorporated that butter was so good, and you know, you kind of had me afraid to put too much milk in there, but because you said it needed to be wet, and it just looked great. All right, so now we're ready to start assembling the patty cake.
Patty cake.
Okay, so before we get into that, tell us where your 3 locations are again.
So we have 2 in Charleston, 1 on Upper King Street, 1 in the Market in Charleston, and then we have 1 in the Virginia Highlands neighborhood of Atlanta.
Oh, wow. Love it. And it's Callie's Hot Little Biscuits.
Callie's Hot Little Biscuits.
Oh, they're just, it's so great. So now this is a very favorite menu item.
It is.
The patty cake.
The patty cake. It's like our take on waffles and bacon and syrup. And so we took our sweet biscuit, the shortcake, and we split it in half. A great way to split biscuits in half is to use a fork, not a knife.
Oh, man.
Because then they don't crumble.
Okay.
And a perfectly fried egg. Don't forget the salt and pepper. And we at Hot Little Biscuit add this at the end because otherwise the salt and pepper kind of get lost.
Okay.
So we're going to add the sausage first to assemble this Hot Little Biscuit patty cake. And that perfect fried egg. Oh, good job.
And it's great if it kind of hangs off the edge, right?
And then we're going to add the top. Ooh, you know, we got to get that there.
Yeah, man.
And then I'll do the syrup and you can do the powdered sugar.
Oh, fun. I actually did some of the photography for my cookbook. I loved the ones of the powdered sugar just kind of going through the air.
Oh, yeah.
So that's my favorite part.
I always have to monitor my girls when they're doing this because they always add more than you need. And then this is so fun too, and it just makes it so pretty. Sweet, savory, crunchy.
Oh, man, all your favorite textures.
I know. It's just perfect.
Well, all of these recipes are in Carrie's cookbook, which has taken on a new facelift with the second printing of the book. And throughout the show today, we had all the girls that are part of Team Very Vera weigh in on what their favorites were. So hopefully everybody noticed that, because there's so many recipes, and you know, some people have their favorites and you might not have ever tried. Right. So, you know, you immediately think of biscuits when you think about you, but there's so many versatile recipes in this book, and we're going to actually have it on our website. So, as I always say on the Very Vera Show, no matter what you do, do it in good taste. I keep thinking that I've got great taste and friends with you, Carrie. I want you to come back next week. We're going to do some recipes out of the Very Vera cookbook, and I want everybody to have a great week. Please come back and join us. Thank you again, Carrie, for being part of the Chef Series last night. If you want to know more about that, go to our website.
To see what's cooking with the Very Vera Show, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.